It's Friday. It's June 24th, 2022. I discovered Westworld. I saw the first season, and whatever. I can't really remember the second season again in this simulation. It doesn't work. It doesn't always connect the memory. My children seem to have the same issues. Between there was a time lapse reset and time spent with me was taken from them. They were having trouble answering questions. I know that they've been under IEP. I know I've been under the watch of the PED, the Physical Education Department is what I call it, with sting operations that I'm just there. I walk into I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's around, but private equity security knows. And they do whatever it is that they do, and then they disappear, and I never hear or see from them ever again, and they go off and do superhero things. So what I do see, though, just recently, is I see some references. I see references on this season 3, episode 2. I don't know who, again, I'm not privy to it. And it's more of a rhetorical question. Perhaps, like, if you're having atrial fibrillation and you say that you're bradycardiac, that means your heart rate is slowed down to almost like, it's not the normal rhythm. There's some stuff going on there at Brady. Well, I don't think it's like inside Brady Bunch's, but inside his scope of, he probably can, in Zodiac boats of people he can't reach in like the normal realm, because I'm not anybody like really super special, but like here we are. So I'm watching this one. And the conversation is frightening, because it goes back to something that happened in the field with Jigen. I don't have direct contact to anybody from second grade, where my family member came and sat next to me, the one who asked me to wear a skirt and a headband so I looked acceptable, before he had to go leave and then didn't come back, and I cried, and I told the teacher that I never wanted to come back to school ever again. There was no point. And so there's just this, like, when a memory can be accessed, when it can't. That's been a problem. The major problem is being so isolated in a major metropolis city from people I would really have loved to have grown up around or spent time with or learned about, but I don't know why all that's been withheld, and then horrible things happened. There's a situation that I call a deco, ADECCO, as my key-op code word on what this feels like for me. And I know that there was a person, I was invited to lunch with a particular person who was short. It wasn't to look up to, but was doing something, invited me to his work to meet his co-workers. They were working on some, I think they said legend or legacy. I didn't know what the heck that meant. Again, if Brady Cardick or Brady Bunch saw this person and who he was working on a legacy and legend with, it would have never happened. Never. He would have never allowed anybody to have touched my anything, especially inside Long Island, if I knew how to get a phone call for help from like the real professionals. But I don't. I don't have a contact. I don't have a phone number. I don't know what is imperative. I just know I keep walking into witness situations. And then there's been a time where PED, private equity stuff happened with the physical education department, which is why I say Brady's so important to me and has a special whatever, has a birthday that Alexander, James, and I share, one number, and it's not dialable.
I almost died for the second time.
Well, third time's the charm.
Congratulations. You successfully tripled the simulation. Now what?
Time to pull back the curtain. I've already infiltrated the network. Took a little tour of the base code. Honestly, I don't know who they thought they were dealing with.
What is that?
This relationship thoroughly frightens me. Thoroughly frightens me when I'm walking on the streets in New York and PED's got some, I mean, like, they've got the handle on the umbrella, and I'm able to walk as best as I can around and then back home without having to worry about other things at the moment. But where it's not okay is where I'm wearing 2 braces on my knees. I got stability braces for my knees to hold my patella in place, I realize is what they're used for. Again, I don't know what it's called. I don't play sport. I just cardio and then fitness train. So sports injury, thank God, wasn't a problem, but I was really careful. But then all of a sudden it just came out of nowhere. Something shifted. I've got fluid at the top of my knees that isn't going. So I tried compression sock. I'm thinking like if I was kinesthetic doctor, orthopedic doctor, what would I tell myself? Patella not moving and shifting so much. I thought maybe drainage, but now my ankles are swelling, which again, I'm not a practicing anything, and this is all new territory for me, but here we are. Even if I put my feet up, my ankles are still swollen, which makes me really upset about this whole lymphatic thing and this radiological. I mean, I walk out on the street and the camera goes in and out, and the background things disappear based on the amount of sunlight being received under the canopy somewhere within Dyson's field. And then I have my ACE to heliosphere in an orbital, whatever. So it's really hard to breathe right now in New York. But here, this is what frightens me about the simulation part, because they mention a part about, I'll wait till we get to it, about one area slowed down while the other one's still at pace. And it looks to us like it's slower for some reason,
No,
but it's just at a different pace.
this is where we really are.
Why are they moving so bloody slow?
They're not. Everything in their world merely appears slow to us because the simulation we're in runs at a much faster rate. They must have me high.
And that, whatever, is what scares the absolute bejesus out of me. Because inside of New York City, at like Hive Mechanics, HIVE, I can clearly see where I've been held apart and separate and at a slowed pace and fed all sorts of crap that I've always tried to circumvent and stay away from. But again, the knowledge that I need in order to maintain even healthy weight, healthy density, healthy collagen level. I mean, like, the gamut has been the ability to obtain what I need as far as exercise and stuff goes has been really hit or miss. Because access to currency, purse string, like purse or money, I mean, has been withheld. Opportunity's been withheld. Schooling and education's been withheld in the way that I need it. So again, it's just really frustrating being held in this manner and not being able to get out.
I'm here somewhere.
And again, this is called The Winter Line. This episode came out in 2020. And then Mayor Adams right now is working the winter term. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know who funded it. I don't know why he's working it. But it's really frightening.
Malaria.
Now, this is what I refer to as CERN. I'm concerned. If this is my ACE, and my ACE has certain biological readings of I'm being radiologically, like, attacked, my mental capacity, if ever in danger, there should be a system with big warnings. I don't know why when I called Michael Hewson I went National Guard booth, gave them my license, looked them in the eye so they knew who I was. I then went to the Suffolk police station, which is like their version of NYPD. It's a joke if you speak roast beef, or beef eaters or whatever. But here, it's all there was, and that's what he said he worked for, so that's where I was, and then called him. But I couldn't get the words out because I was being attacked by whatever is going on in, like, Havana syndrome, which, again, there's an XIX somewhere, and then there's a VIV. And this, in quantum string and quantum entanglement, in a quirky realm full of charm that I have no access to, and planning, and so on and so forth. It's really frightening.
I reckon it's time to get me out of there, don't you?
Well, how are you going to manage that?
With help. She'll do.
Now, this by itself, for me, for what I've experienced, what I'm able to quantify, what I'm able to obtain in the field as far as what some of the signs and symbols are, is one thing. Because I'm able to tactically put it into real world terms for what I've been experiencing health wise. That's HBO. Again, I don't know what they call that level of TV. That used to be called a cable service or a cable provider. And then they have the local antenna or rabbit ear stations, which is what I call the local news, to distinguish the difference. Now they have all new fancy, crazy words, whatever. And there's some new commercials on the local rabbit ear antenna stations that I don't know if they're acknowledgments of groups that I don't have access to. I don't know if it's, again, dangling carrots in front of a horse that's never going to be able to actually obtain the carrot. I don't know if they're helpful for something that's trying to help. I can't discern that, but what I can see is I can see the effort being made. All right, this came on CBS Saturday morning, and it's E25, and it's Saturday, June 20 at 6:18, but it's year 2022. I've made reference to this one commercial before, but this is with that HBO Westworld reference that I just put on.
My hygienist detects bradycardia, tachycardia, and tells you when your heart rate.
So here, this is bradycardic, and that's the metric. This is normal, and it looks like this. And this is tachycardic. Now, to use layman's terms, because I don't speak to any commoner about this. I can't broach the subject with Lynn and Lou. It's way too in depth. They don't have the base level of understanding, and it's like their eyes glaze over. I don't even know if they have the cognitive ability. It's like if they were computers, I don't think they have the memory, cache memory, like in a moment to hold all the details and then follow my story as I construct it with what's pertinent and then build where I'm at and where a healthy status and where I'm hurting at the moment is. Like, I can't even get to that level of conversation with Lou and Lynn. It's since I've been a kid. But here we are, and nobody to ask for help, and not even knowing who and what level would even be able to help me. But this right now, I saw there was a commercial on, it looks like 1976, like an actor that looks like him. And it's called Viardic. It's something. I made a reference of it in my dialogues before, with this exact spelling. I went through hours of taped stuff this week, and it wasn't on there at all. But I know that I have it on reference in my YouTube account. But it's where it shows the person getting up and moving very slowly, but it feels like everybody else is moving really, really fast around him. So it would be like, this is how I feel at the moment. And then this is what I feel like is going on around me. I did not always feel that way in the system. There's something that happened to the mainframe simulation system. I don't know if it was mergers and acquisitions. I don't know if it's a monopoly takeover, but it's invasive. It might look like paper pushers. Like, I don't even know if people are aware of it, but I can feel it. The system is not designed the same from when I entered. The lighting schematics, not the same. The sunlight's not the same. The health dimensions are not the same. I'm not performing the same. And it's been whittling away the longer that this goes on. It's like the system keeps changing at this pace. And I've been 4 decades like this, with flatlined in the middle, held in this isolation. I don't know why. And I don't know if there's people that function at this somewhere in between. But for me at the moment, it feels like a flat line, which means somebody was sending me to my death purposely, and they designed it as such in order to take over the framework. Now, this happened Channel 7 this week, one of the days. It happened in something called a red hook.
They're the off-road vehicles that some aggressive noisemakers love to dangerously and illegally.
Now, they're going to show a display of like immense aggression. Whatever they're up to, I don't know, because again, whatever and whatever. But in my neighborhood, they do come through. But I'm fortunate enough that they send me one. And there have been times where there's been 2 or 3 at a time. It's not often, but I don't know. They appear sometimes when I'm walking on Bell Boulevard, but I never know reason why. I don't know if they're just letting me know that they're in the city. I don't know who they are.
Illegally roar through the streets of New York City.
And boy, do they roar. Most New Yorkers just shake their heads at the motorcycles and ATVs that scare so many people. But tonight, from the roads to the shredder, New York Mayor Adams making good on his promise to destroy these danger cycles.
Hundreds of them taken and today destroyed. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett with the story. He's live in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Newton.
That's right, Bill. Red Hook, Brooklyn, the NYPD's sprawling impound lot, where ATVs and dirt bikes and illegal motorcycles arrive every day. You know, they are taken from the city streets, and yes, they're destroyed. You know, there are many things that affect the quality of life here in New York City. This is a big one. There are times when the streets of New York look like a scene out of Mad Max, with swarm.
I don't know this reference, Mad Max. I don't know if it extends more. I think at some point there was a magazine cover with red hair and whatever, but I don't know if that's really what Mad Max is or if it's many different things. Again, and then I hear about this Maximilian with the Alamo in Houston. We got a problem. I mean, and the NASA with the rockets. I try to articulate where I can and stay away from where I don't know.
Swarms of illegal motorcycles, dirt bikes, and all-terrain vehicles rumbling through the city at all hours of the day and night. Saw scores of them rolling past the Barclays Center in the middle of the evening rush hour, swerving in and out of traffic with no one to stop them. The NYPD is cracking down. So far this year, 2,000 bikes and ATVs have been seized from city streets and taken to the NYPD's Brooklyn impound lot, where they are crushed by a 150-ton.
Now and this is a cat for heavy equipment. I know in the city they've had some other heavy equipment operators. I have no idea how that equipment even got into New York. But I know Cat is the one that's supposed to be the premier brand. For signs and symbols, because it has a pyramid underneath the A. I know these things are incredibly important, and when these tiny changes happen, it's usually significant things are happening elsewhere. Some fight, some collective bargaining gone wrong. Here's another symbol over here. That looks more like sanitation. Inside of New York City looks like sanitation. I know 3-pillar construction's incredibly important. At once upon a time. Now on GMA3 this week, June 22nd, 2022, at 6:51, they ran this commercial. I saw a better version of this commercial on a different program, but I kept going because I had seen this run a few times. It's about something called rheumatoid arthritis, but it has that image of like a see-through bubble, and then it's talking about they have a disease, they have a medication for it, they have a name for it, they have a umbrella term for it, and it shows in here like some red spots and then some white spots just going around. And again, that goes back to capsid for me at bacteriophage, and icosahedral.
Your mission, stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints.
So now they're saying symptomatically overactive immune systems attacking the joints. Why is the immune system attacking anything inside the biodome? And this is how they represent it, with red points. And then, I mean, again, it looks like star systems. It looks like star systems, but like a protein marker with icosahedral cap smear at the top of it, signaling or being missignaled with some kind of radiotelescopy on like an antenna and scaffolding and some kind of tracking and signaling. Somewhere between, some signals might be bradycardic and some might be tachycardic, just to have like a whole new conversation in case there's some brainiac somewhere that decided that they were going to, I don't know, patent a conversation and then give Brady Bunch a problem with what I need in the field. Just saying. In the realm of possibilities, I really don't like problems. All right, now GMA3, What You Need to Know, Season 2, Episode 4, 5, 7, on Friday, June 24th, 2022. At 15 minutes and 50 seconds, so 15.50, it has a commercial, which I don't know how to read this because it has reference to a goat. It has reference to a cub. It has reference to Ghostbusters. And then it has reference to lasers shooting down some giant. Or the cub, it looks like, with a baseball head. As a wiffle ball, I'm concerned. I just don't know if people misread information that's very cryptic for a reason. Now here it says, Good Morning America, ABC.
America's Great Rise and Shine Tour. With DirecTV Stream, I can get live TV and on demand together.
Oh, and this is Direct TV.
Together. Baseball, Ghostbusters. Baseball, Ghostbusters. Baseball.
It's good to be back. That is one foul ball.
I saw a reference to 34, 24, and I don't know what number this guy is. I know who my 24 is.
Let's do this!
In fact, my 24 just so 3 and the 11 between the 77 and the 83 are clear, crystal clear on the 24, who's a 79. I sent the only time I ever put in writing in that way, and the most I've ever written about my gratitude with being treated the way that he treated me. I know those letters are important. And again, just goes back for character. I haven't changed. It's just nothing in what surrounds me has ever even met that bar. I know 1 week at Hofstra tried, but then just disappeared without a trace. And then the crazy donkey happened, and life was just over.
Get your TV together with the best of live and on-demand. DirecTV Stream. Now save $30 over 2 months.
Here, have a cheesecake.
It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And I'm at what I would call, I've been calling it midlife crisis, but again, it's like, how do you fit a mid-size SUV in a helicopter? That was an important kid. Matches my zodiac boat. Not in a, he is my creation, but arrived in a zodiac position after I did. So there's a generational gap, which is important at life frame and for like biological clock. He's a biological clock marker of utmost importance. I don't want his quantum entanglement or his entanglement to be harmed or to show up any way that mine did. So far, I've already seen signs of problems. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.